island known as Philippines. I'm Roslyn, and together with my fellow tourist guides, we would like to accompany you in exploring the wonders of the Pearl of Asia. So now, take your seats and fasten your seatbelts as we will have a non-stop adventure in this beautiful island called the Philippines. Now, before we deeply explore this spectacular adventure, let us recall first the history of the Philippines, as well as some interesting facts that will surely capture your interest. The Philippines' first inhabitants were indigenous people who are still revered until today. The Philippines was colonized by the Spaniards for 333 years. The Philippines was then called Las Islas Filipinas in honor of King Philip II of Spain. After the Spaniards, Americans colonized the Philippines for 48 years and then followed by other colonizers of different nations. The Philippines gained their independence on June 12, 1898. Now, my dear tourists, would you like to hear some interesting facts? First, the Philippines is considered the social media capital of the world as it has 89 million active social media users. Second, Philippines is home to the world's smallest primate, tarsier, which is found mainly in Bohol in the Visayas region. Third, the Philippines is the world's #2 producer and exporter of coconuts. And lastly, the Philippines is the only country in the world whose flag is flown upside down when the country is at war.
Now, let's move on and have a tour of the three main big islands of the Philippines.
Marhay na adlaw mga turista! I am Francesca Dedicatoria and I am welcoming you all to Luzon, the northern part of the Philippines. As for you to know, there are many social groups of Luzon, but I will only introduce to you guys the three most well-known social groups here in Luzon. And these are namely the Ifugao tribe, the Mangyans, and the Gadang tribe. First, we have Ifugao tribe. The mountainous area of northern part of Luzon was occupied by the group of wet rice agriculturalists known as the Ifugao tribe. Second is we have the Mangyans. The Mangyan is a generic term that comprises the indigenous peoples of Mindoro Island. And the last one we have is the Gadang tribe. The Gadang tribe are a linguistically identified ethnic group resident for centuries in the watershed of the Cagayan River in northern Luzon, Philippines. Cuisines. Luzon has a different style or method of cooking characterized by distinctive ingredients, techniques, and dishes. So these are some of the cuisines of the Luzon part of the Philippines. First, we have laing, one of the more iconic dishes in the southern Luzon region of Bicol. Sisig. Sisig is a dish made from parts of a pig's face and belly. Kinanot na isda. This seafood recipe is a keeper. This fish dish is popular in the Bicol region. Higado, also known as higado. It is a Filipino spice pork liver dish originating from the Ilocos region of northern Luzon of the Philippines. And last, we have the dinakdakan. Dinakdakan is an appetizer dish that originated from the Ilocos region. Language. Almost all of Luzon's languages are part of the Malayo-Polynesian branch of the Austronesian language families Philippines group. Tagalog, Ilocano, Bicolano, Kapampangan, and Pangasinan are the most widely spoken regional languages, and many people in the town speak language. The Philippines region of Luzon is very well known of its craftsmanship, having its own specialty. We have some examples of their indigenous crafts. First, we have bululs. Next, we have Inabel textile, Juicy textile. And last, we have the Gadang textile. Luzon has a different arts and each arts have its own uniqueness and its own descriptions. First, we have the banga. The banga is a pot dance and is a contemporary performance of the kalinga of the mountain province of the Philippines. Next, we have the paru-parong bukid. It is a traditional Filipino folk song which originated from Mariposa Bella, a Filipino song in Spanish originated in the 1890s. And lastly, we have the Noli Me Tangere. It is the most controversial and widely known work of the country's national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. This novel sparked the social awakening of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial era. And that's it. That's our tour comprising only the Luzon part of the Philippines.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I am Carl Justin Diconag, your tour guide to the second main island group of the Philippines, the Visayas. The Visayas is known for its white sand beaches and islands that are open for snorkeling, perfect for beach lovers and divers to go to. Did you know? Cebu from Central Visayas is known as the home of the best lechon in the Philippines. Cebuanos are famous for their master cooking lechon, giving you the experience of eating the juiciest and crispiest lechon in the country. And don't forget to taste the Visayas version of the adobo, the humba. There are more variety of dish available in the Visayas, and I hope your taste buds are satisfied. Let us proceed to the famous tourist spots in Visayas, starting from the oldest Catholic church in the country, the Basilica of Santo Niño in Cebu. The Basilica of Santo Niño was founded by Fray Andres de Urdaneta and Fray Diego de Herrera in 1565. Besides the Church of Basilica of Santo Niño is the Magellan's Cross, which was believed to be planted by Spaniards during Magellan's expedition. Speaking of Magellan, in the island of Mactan, Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu, you can visit the famous Liberty Shrine, or known as the Mactan Shrine. The Mactan Shrine hosts two monuments, namely for the Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan and for the native leader who defeated Spanish soldiers during the 1521 Battle of Mactan, Lapu-Lapu. Well, that's all for now, and thank you for flying here in Visayas, and I hope to see you again in your next travels. Mabuhay!
Here we go. The social groups of Mindanao. It is the largest of the Muslim cultural linguistic groups of the Philippines. They live around Lake Lanao on the southern island of Mindanao, and rice farming is their main livelihood, along with metalworking and woodworking handicrafts. And these are some of social groups of Mindanao are the Manobo, Mamanwa, Mandaya tribe. Manobo are a group of people speaking one of the languages that belong to Manobo language family. The Mamanwa is one of the original settlers of Tandog, Surigao del Sur. The Mandaya tribe are both non-Christian and non-Islamic. The Mandaya are found in Davao Oriental and Davao del Norte, Mindanao. Let's go to Mindanao cuisine. Is very distinct in terms of flavor compared to the rest of the Philippines, largely influenced by Spanish and Malay flavors of nearby Southeast Asian countries. Dishes in Mindanao are known for their use of coconut milk and spices like chili, onion, and ginger. So these are some of the lamion na pagkaon sa Mindanao. Biyasak. This is a cow liver cooked with burnt coconut. Rendang, a dish acquired by Maranaos in southern Philippines from their neighboring country Indonesia. Sati, as you can see, it's a popular breakfast food in Mindanao, particularly in Zamboanga. Curatsa, among Zamboanga's many exotic dishes is the Spanish crab or red frog crab, also known as curatsa in Chabacano, which is famous in the peninsula. Pianggang, this is a tausug dish similar to a chicken barbecue, only it's black but not because it's burnt. Ila-ilahon, hatagag atensyon, pakiligon sa katapusan, igurade ay kapalibrihon. Tara, sabayimin ninyo sa atong paguban-uban og kaon sa lugar sa Mindanao. Wow! On their indigenous crafts and the arts, I really admire how the people there are very connected to nature. They draw their inspiration, their spirituality from nature, and it's reflected in their work like in weaving a fabric.
Here are some indigenous crafts in Mindanao: brasswares, malong, ukir, and sarimanok.
Here comes the language of Mindanao. Cebuano is the most widely spoken language in Mindanao families. Cebuano is the first language followed by Bisaya or Binisaya at 29.19%. Hiligaynon, Ilonggo, Magindanaon, and Tausug are some of the other languages spoken in Mindanao.
Mindanao is also famous for its arts. like the Zamboanga City Hall, a historic building that was commenced in 1905 by the federal government of the United States. Singkil, a Mindanao folk dance that originated from the Maranao people. Orayan, a Mindanao folk music included from ancient Muslim folk song and dance called Istihara and Urayan. Sultan Kudarat Monument, a memoir of Sultan Kudarat, was once a part of the former Empire province of Cotabato. Lastly, in the beginning, a literary works from Mindanao composed of Philippine folk tales.
Daghang salamat!
Philippines being a democratic country with the current President Rodrigo Duterte, who is fond and liked by the people of its nation and by the leaders of other nations, have brought changes, magnificent and vivid resolution to the problems that the country is facing, especially his most notable project, the Build program that brought major success for the country. The country's GDP posted a 9.5% full-year growth rate in 2020 compared to its 5.9% pre-pandemic performance in 2019. Abala said that the business processing outsourcing, or the BPO, is a major contributor to the resiliency of the economy amidst this pandemic. The Philippine peso, also referred by the Filipino name piso, is the official currency of the Philippines. So that's it for this wonderful and joyous adventure we have in this country called the Philippines. Once again, I am Rosie, together with my fellow tourist guides. Daghang salamat!